I want war with all of you. Okay? All of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit, but I want war with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want war with all of you. Because I know this isn't right. And there is no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal.
Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to Debs Unfiltered. You already know, here we sip the tea, we spill the truth, and we side-eye the chaos, respectfully, of course. Now, let's talk about Candace Owens. Because sis just built a monster, and this monster, guys, is looking real hungry. For years, she has fed MAGA the story they wanted to hear. She turned on her own people, sided with power, and then called it keeping it real. But when you spend years feeding the beast, you should not be shocked when it comes back for dinner.
Shame on her and what she's doing to the family. Shame on her how she's exploiting her friend's death. This sick and twisted person has exploited the death and grifting off of it, spinning up this conspiracy theory that has no evidence because there's an appetite for it. And it has just got to be the most heinous thing I've ever seen. She is a gross, lying, low integrity, low honor, ignorant nigger. That's what she is. She is a craven, clout whore, grifter, money. That's just what and by the way, everybody in Turning Point thinks that.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know we don't mess with her like that. But I don't want to see any harm come her way either. What we do want is some accountability and clarity.
When you say make America great again, which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make America like?
So I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said make Black America great again. Because Black America, before,
we're talking about make America. That wasn't the question.
I am answering your question.
Which period was America great that we're trying to replicate? Which era was it? Tell me, because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't
the
gotten into my points.
enslavement
I'm not
of
making...
people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing you freeze over.
I haven't even finished the sentence. How am I making light of anything?
You started with some bullshit.
Okay.
Because whether you love her or hate her, Candace just didn't get over 5 million subscribers on YouTube just by accident. In my opinion, guys, she either struck a nerve or she's onto something we are not ready to admit. So today, we are not only diving into how Candace got to this mega fame, but also her fall from grace. Or didn't she fall at all? And what actually happens when you try to fight the same forces you fed? And who do you run to afterwards? You burned a lot of bridges, girl, but we are going to get into it. Let's go. So Candace Owens was born on April the 29th, 1998 in White Plains, New York. She is the third out of 4 kids. Her parents split when she was about 11, and she was raised by her mother and her grandmother mostly in Stamford, Connecticut. She grew up smart, ambitious, and a little bit defiant, which wasn't that bad either, because that way she managed to survive harassment at her high school that even made the local news.
Essentially, I had this situation happen to me in high school where somebody that I was actually best friends with left me horrific voicemails. They were racist voicemails. There's no other way to slice it.
They called you a nigga because you didn't want to date them?
I'll be honest, I got a boyfriend, and I just stopped hanging out with my friends. Very typical high school, stupid stuff. And this gay guy that I was friends with was, like, outraged by it. And one night he was out drinking with kids that were way younger than him that I had never met, and they left me horrific voicemails. I mean, like bringing in like Rosa Parks. There was tons of threats. I left school and just homeschooled for, I think it was about 6 to 8 weeks. And basically we got reimbursed for the time that I was homeschooling. When people retell that story now, it's like she sued her school for racism and the NAACP helped her. And I'm like, no, the NAACP did not help me. They used my face and my name to fundraise for the NAACP, which is actually the reason why I don't like the NAACP. It's like a very valid reason. But I'm actually very grateful that it happened to me because it allowed me to really consider what the media was.
That fire that she had, that fire that was brewing inside of her, turned into a drive. Fast forward, she dropped out of college, jumped into the online world, and reinvented herself as a fearless commentator. Black, conservative, and anti-victimhood. It worked though. She joined Turning Point USA in 2017 under her best friend, her ally, Charlie Kirk. And together they built the Blexit movement, trying to persuade black voters to leave the Democratic Party.
Explain for us what Blexit is and how you came up with the idea. You were watching the television.
Yes, the black exit from the Democrat Party because it's time that we stop allowing them to use us for votes and deliver none of the promises that they ensure every election cycle.
She even got Kanye West co-signed for a moment. A brief moment, guys, because he was experiencing great pressure from outside forces. You tell me who these outside forces were.
It was in October, after Kanye had helped me to start designing the logo for Blexit, that Kanye's pressure cooker got too hot. And basically, they told him that he would lose everything, his marriage, this, that, if he didn't abstain from politics after he notoriously went to the White House in the MAGA hat. And he needed to distance from us and, of course, Blexit. And he cracked. I mean, you guys remember this headline. I'm taking you back to 2018. Kanye West distances himself from Blexit and Trump. He says, I've been used to spread messages. Kanye never wrote this statement. One of his handlers did, but he said, my eyes are now wide open and I now realize that I've been used to spread messages that I don't believe in. I am distancing myself from politics and completely focusing on being creative. Like, why is Kanye doing this? Why is he saying this? I have pictures of him standing over the guy, directing him on what he thought was cool with the logo. Like, should I drop them? And Cernovich gave me really sound advice and said, don't. You have no idea what he's going through.
Needless to say, that whole wave rode straight into Daily Wire. And I must say, for a while, Candace looked really unstoppable. The right's favorite firebrand. That token that, she talked back. But let me tell you guys, you know what I always say? Disruption is no liberation. And someone refreshing isn't always truth. So then our first lens was identity. She wrapped that blackness in a flag. But people quickly came to ask, whose banner is she waving?
Black Americans are incredibly talented. Like I said, when it comes to the arts and creativity, I just find Black American to be funnier. I think we're also funnier. I think we have a natural sense of humor. Like when we're comedians, we do it the best. Also when we sing, we do it the best. When we're athletes, we do it the best.
See, Black pride. Yes,
I
Candace.
say this on
That's
my
what
show.
we want from Candace. Black pride. Not all of the other shit that makes us say, damn, is she proud to be black or is she not proud to be black?
And if you watch my show, you're not hearing anything new. This is what I say. This is the lessons in all of that.
Candace Owens got married to George Farmer in 2019. George Farmer is a British conservative and a Oxford graduate. What is funny is that he is a former chairman of Turning Point UK, the British branch of Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA movement and organization. They got married within 18 days. Now, this is what Candace has to say about why they got married so quickly.
And everyone's like, why'd you get engaged after 18 days? I have never, it's inexplicable. I looked at him and I felt like I had already known him. And it felt exactly like seeing a sigh of relief. Like it felt like a sigh of relief. I was like, I need to go with him.
The wedding actually took place at the Trump's winery in Charlottesville, Virginia.
And then at the end of December, we started, I called her a couple of times just to kind of chat. And again, just had these long, prolonged conversations, which were mainly about politics and trying to understand what she wanted to do in life. And at the end of December, I was actually flying to South Africa at the time for New Year's. And I called her and I just said, listen, I know this is completely crazy and we've just met, but how do you feel about getting married to me?
Just real quick. I missed the bit where there was any sort of...
There was literally nothing romantic had been said up to this point.
Okay.
I mean, literally nothing.
So I missed nothing.
We hadn't gone on a date. We had not talked about marriage or the future or anything like that.
All right.
And and she said yes. Up to this point, I had been kind of, I would say, dormant in my faith, and not really living, a godly life, not really living a life which was, meritorious of being worthy, being called a Christian life, really. But I had been praying this prayer because I've been saying to the Lord, please, can you show me the path before my feet? What is this path what is the path of my life? Where do you want me to end up? What do you want me to do? I remember having this very powerful, vivid emotion, kind of overwhelming sense of God speaking to me saying, you were praying this, you were asking for this. So here is the path. There are now two paths before your feet. There's the path that you've walked currently, which is, in many ways, I would say like a life not lived for him, right? It was a life lived for me. And then there's a second path, which I'm putting in front of you, which is a life which you don't necessarily know the outcome of yet. You don't know where this path is going to lead. But this is the path that I'm putting before your feet. And that car ride that I had, kind of was formative in some ways because I felt this overwhelming sense of, I have to act. This is it.
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay.
And the rest is history, child. They had child after child after child after child. Candace, I gotta give it to you. You went straight to work.
I actually don't believe in birth control.
No? You're just doing it the Catholic way, just like whatever
My
happens?
husband's so Catholic, like beyond. He's
But then you
Catholic.
could have 12 kids.
I know. It's dangerous.
Of course it is.
It's completely dangerous.
And stupid.
I'm on your side.
Well, what are you going to do? Trick them and take birth control?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Catholics, they have a lot of kids.
So guys, Candace's early message was empowerment. She was more of a girl that spread the message, think for yourself. But that message, in my eyes, quickly morphed into think like me or else you are the problem.
If you want to wonder why black people vote for droves and Democrats, it's because the textbooks make you think that LBJ, because he literally was the person who signed, the Civil Rights Act, but they don't contextualize that. They don't tell you that LBJ was an avowed racist. He was essentially forced to sign it because there were riots. He was angry about having to sign it and came up with a plan that he would, quote unquote, have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And that plan was welfarism, the Great Society Act. You don't learn that. You just, a Democrat signed the Civil Rights Bill and you got all of your rights. It's very, here are the villains, here are the heroes.
So they rewrote their story.
They rewrote their story.
Yeah. Genius.
It is genius.
She went from questioning the Democrats to straight up mocking the entire fight for racial justice. Remember when she called Black Lives Matter a propaganda movement? She dismissed police brutality as a myth. Remember that?
Black Lives Matter movement. It is the antithesis of everything that I believe in as an American, first and foremost. And no, yeah, they're operating under the guise of something that's common sense, Black Lives Matter, and they're doing nothing to prove or to show that Black lives matter to them because they don't care about Black lives. We know that all across America, in major cities, Black crime rate has gone up, Black homicide rate has gone up. Black people are dying because of Black Lives Matter activism. People burning down and looting Black neighborhoods, taking away Black jobs. So I hate everything to do with Black Lives Matter, and I have used my platform and my voice to speak out against what is ultimately a big lie. If you are genuinely concerned about Black lives, if I was going to be fearful in America, I would be more afraid of a Black person, a Black male, a Black perpetrator than I would be of a white person or a white police officer, going by the statistics.
And then, my God, she aligned herself with right-wing media, with Fox News, and MAGA donors. And then, guys, when Trump rose, so did she, defending everything from family separations to making America great again, and doing it as if oppression was optional.
Refuse to take a Black person seriously that wants to talk to me about the 0.00004% of Black people, unarmed Black people that are shot by police officers, and does not want to have a conversation with me about the 17 million Black babies that were aborted. No. What you guys are boycotting, you're focused on things that are not negatively. More Black people were got struck by lightning in 2016 than shot by police. More police officers were shot by Black people than the other way around.
But here, to me, is where the betrayal core comes in. You built your fame saying you broke free from the system, but then you joined the system that thrives on your silence. She branded herself like, the unfiltered truth. But sometimes, Candace, it wasn't truth. It was content. And the more outrageous you got, the more the checks cleared. But I digress. Let's talk impact. So, like I said, at first, some folks thought she was refreshing. Someone that was finally bold enough to, challenge the liberal hypocrisy. Because we have to be honest, you have to have some people that give a little pushback, and she was one of them. But that freshness curled pretty fast. And you, Candace, you figured it out real quick. Because every time you went viral, it wasn't for uplifting us, it was for dragging us. And you saw some money in that. You can't tell me any different. I don't believe it. I do not believe it, guys. However, she told Black America to stop complaining, told women to stop playing the victim. And she told the rest of the world that systemic racism was a big lie. Meanwhile, her whole platform, guys, got bigger and bigger. Her book sales grew, and her white conservative fan base, they worshiped her like the gospel. But the Black community, we watched, we side-eyed, and we realized real quick that this wasn't courage. This was some type of performance.
I know people who are very, very good friends with Candace Owens. I mean, personally, very close. And they've all told me, of course it's a grift. We know this. We know who she is, we know what she believes, and we know what she doesn't believe. And when she says that the experiments conducted on twins in Auschwitz are a conspiracy, or when she said that, Israel knowingly attacked the USS Liberty to kill American soldiers, she knows this is a load of nonsense. Her followers don't know that, and she doesn't really care because she's making a shitload of money.
And when you turn your identity into a brand, then girl, your community becomes collateral. But guys, here, for me, is where the story gets a little icy. The same mega base that crowned her queen, they started to turn. And I don't know if you saw, but I saw it slowly but surely happening. Remember when she criticized Trump and called him a chronic disappointment?
Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? Oh, he can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
He's been a chronic disappointment, and I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen, and it is happening.
Which, Candace, I can't agree. But you're a little bit late with this, girl. And then she hinted at corruption in his circle. Duh, we have been telling you this for years. And you found out real fast, Candace, that beast was beginning to show their teeth. Visa denied in Australia for extremist remarks.
And then last update for the day, Candace Owens. She has officially been banned from entering Australia. So last year she was actually denied a visa, and she legally challenged this. She said that's crazy. So about after a year of legal back and forth, the High Court of Australia just ruled today that the decision was not invalid, and then ordered her to pay for the government's legal costs in the case.
There is a strong case for the national interest of Australia being well served by Candace Owens being somewhere else, and she is not alone in that category. My view, as I've said before, is when someone applies for a visa, they are asking to be a guest in your country. If their purpose for coming is to start an argument and to incite discord, we don't have to say yes. If someone knocks on the door to your home and the reason they are turning up is to disrupt everything, it's up to you whether you let them in.
I still can't believe that I'm I got banned from a country. Like, what am I doing that my country, I wasn't even going to speak about Israel, like nothing. And yet the Zionist lobby rose up and she can't speak. I was going to speak about homeschooling and children and my backstory and race issues. And they were like, you can't come in. Okay, but you can still download my podcast on Spotify? I don't understand.
Defamation lawsuits from the Macrons in France, which I don't know, but you might be onto something. And when she began accusing Trump for his shady business, Megha said, oh no. Candace who? We don't know her. And that's exactly, Candace, when you realize that this whole movement is not a family. At least, not yours.
Eventually he was like, yeah, I'm so mad at Candace. I'm so mad at Candace. And this got back to me that he was upset with me, that he was angry at me. And the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me. He was actually rude to me. So you have an individual that spent years defending you, right? And that individual gave you a completely kind and fair interview. You said something yourself that your base didn't like, and you somehow transformed that into something that I did wrong. That's unacceptable. That is not being a leader. Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror, and he needs to take a good look in the room, and he needs to read the room accurately. He needs to take a look at those that are around him that are inspiring this paranoia and making him believe that everyone's out to get him, including his friends. And he needs to exercise a tiny bit more humility.
You thought you could control the monster, Candace. I don't know if you know, girl, but a monster has no loyalty.
I just really needed to just take a breather and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on.
So here's the full arc to me. Promise, empowerment brand, betrayal, and ecosystem bite back. Candace, you tried to sell us the dream of freedom, but you never once said that dream came with a price tag. And it's coming with a price tag for you, girl. I must say, because you earned a pretty penny with, all this rhetoric. But what you didn't realize, Candace, when you build fame on division, redemption cost double. You know more than we know what is going on behind the scenes. First, girl, I thought you were going crazy. But now I think you are just unhinged.
If they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock it off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him a freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you.
Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. They sign off after they murder you. They're like Holiday in a boulevard.
However, you are dealing with a crazy power machine. And Candace, since you turned your back to your own people, who can you really run to? Girl, I don't know what to tell you.
The cowards. We're surrounded by cowards. It's spelled C-A-R-L-S-O-N. It's spelled F-U-E-N-T-E-S. It's spelled O-W-E-N-S. How are we going to attack the Mandamis and the Talibs and the Omars and the Sanders and the rest of them when in our own house this poison is spreading? They're burning down our house, and they're destroying America First, and they're destroying MAGA, and they're destroying the Republican Party, which means they're destroying the country. We need help to deal with these people. This is America First, not the sick rantings of unaccomplished Neanderthals who have social media sites who contribute absolutely nothing to this country.
You made them very mad, Candace.
Are you black again? Do you feel that? What do you think about that?
People are going to be so shocked to learn this, and I guess I'll just announce it here, but I've always been black, so it's like a thing every day.
Now this whole Charlie Kirk, and I know this guy was your best friend, but he has got you all unhinged, and you are now on a straight hunt to find out who his killer is.
I'm quite alarmed with what I know, that there are 3 people who said that Charlie communicated 24 hours before he died, that he thought they were going to kill him. But let me promise you that if I get a text message to the effect that you were somehow involved in him feeling anxiety the day before, if you did something that gave him anxiety in that way, I will release it instantly. There will be no place that you can hide. Anyways, I want you guys to know that I was feeling so inspired by Josh Hammer's utter lack of human decency that I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy. People that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years.
Do you know who you're dealing with? You got children, girl. And now you are trying to run for safety. Now you want to go to HBCUs. The people don't want you there, Candace. Are you tone deaf? You better figure out who you really are before that machine you built comes to eat you alive.
You are a diversity hire. You are a DEI hire. You pander. You know, and she thinks she's some kind of boss bitch. Yeah, you're a bitch, but like you didn't get that way because you're a super smart boss. You got that way because you're super bitchy black token.
Now, guys, drop your thoughts below. Encouragement, critique, or whatever you got to tell our sister. Is she in danger? Can she still run back to us? Or has that ship sailed? Leave it in the comments, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Click a like, click a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.